On the day that news of the German invasion of Poland arrived in Montreal, Percy Jacobson rolled a blank sheet of paper onto his typewriter carriage, noted the date at the top, and began to write. He would do this most days for the next 6 years of war, recording his observations on daily events at home and abroad, not least on what they might mean for his only remaining son, Joe. Percy had expected war and dreaded it. He knew it would bring disruption and sorrow to his family circle at 635 Grosvenor Avenue, just as it would to his city, to Canada, and to the nations of Europe. Yet on this day he was relieved that the necessary struggle would finally be engaged. Joe Jacobson was an ambitious young man and an accomplished athlete. He was the only Jew on McGill University's 1938 intercollegiate champion football team. He had graduated in commerce in the spring of 1939. He had set course to enter his father's office furniture business, which supplied many of Montreal's corporate headquarters. To that end, he had a factory job lined up with one of his father's business associates in Ontario. But when Joe returned to Montreal from summer camp at the end of August, troops were already on guard at railway yards, bridges, and power stations, and the Red Cross was training ambulance drivers and nurses. Percy Jacobson Diary, September 13th, 1939. For several days now, in fact, ever since the war, I have had Joe on my mind. He is 21 and must make his own decision. I know that he can't keep out of it. First of all, we are Jews, and Hitler's persecution of the Jews will go down into history along with the stories of the Spanish Inquisition. Second of all, even if he felt war was wrong and realized the wickedness of destroying the youth of the world, he couldn't stand by and see his friends fight for him. And third, as a graduate of McGill with a fine record in the classroom and on the field, he would lose caste in his own eyes as well as with his fellow men. Then again, he is just the right age, and his physical fitness is par. I told him to think it out, and if he decided to join up, to select the work he is best fitted for. It is going to be very hard on his mother. I am desperately sorry for my boy. I know he hates war and hates fighting. He is a gentle nature and has an awfully lot of good sense. God bless the boy. Percy Jacobson Diary, September 18th, 1939. Tonight, Joe left for Preston to work in a furniture factory. I am afraid he will not be there for long, because the war news is so bad that it will not be long before every young man will be in the army. The reason Joe is still a civilian is due to my persuasion. I want him to carefully consider what branch of work he is best fitted for. Joe has the makings of a first-class man. God grant that he may be allowed to be of more use to this Canada of ours than holding a rifle. Percy, although born in Montreal, spent his early childhood years in Liverpool and Manchester, where his mother's family had long prospered in the tobacco manufacturing business. Sometime after his father abandoned them, Mrs. Jacobson and her only son Percy returned to Canada, where the Montreal branch of the family saw to the boy's welfare. Percy was sent to board at Lower Canada College, and by the age of 20, he had been set up in the office furniture business. Some years later, he met May Silver, who was studying library science at McGill University, and married her. In 1939, Percy and May were living halfway up the slopes of Westmount in the heart of upper-middle-class English Montreal. They had had 4 children: Edith, 23 years old when the war began, Joey, 2 years younger, Peter, who died of leukemia in 1937 while still in high school, and Janet, aged 16. The 30s had brought Percy his share of business anxieties, but the family was always able to afford what mattered to them. Percy and May built an emotionally stable and nurturing household for their children, as well as a financially secure one. Much was given, much was accepted, and much was required of each member of the household.